First thing I want to do is start off by having you introduce yourself and introduce your business. Give like a 30-second pitch for the audience. So go ahead.
Thank you, Nolan. Episode 1, I feel privileged for this. My name is Paul Gelvezon. I am a transplant from San Diego. I moved here in 2007, and that's my story.
Yeah. How did you get into the CBD business?
CBD business. So 2019, a client of mine in another job that I had in the credit card processing world he's going to launch a CBD brand. So he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I'd like to meet some people in the cannabis community."
Yeah.
Because I had another company that I had started called Hayes University, and after a phone call with the folks at Ohio Green Team, we discovered that Columbus really didn't have any core shops that were based around education outside of a shop in Clintonville. So
Okay. When it comes to CBD, it seems like it's everywhere nowadays, right? So what do you do that separates yourself from the other CBD stores or brands that kind of educates people on what CBD and cannabis can do?
Sure, good question. So, I mean, the big thing that we do is when people come into our store, one of the big pet peeves I have when going into retail shops, whether it's cannabis or just regular retail, is when people don't welcome you in right away. So that's a big thing because it can be intimidating for people that don't know the difference between marijuana and hemp.
Yeah.
So everything that we sell in our store is going to be hemp derived.
Yeah.
You're focusing on what you're not feeling as opposed to a psychoactive with marijuana where you do get a high.
Okay.
And so as long as people have time for us on the education part, we'll spend as much time with people. We don't claim to know everything.
Yeah.
We have books that we can reference. We're constantly keeping our finger on the pulse of education with the hemp plant.
Yeah.
So we're sharing our knowledge of what we're learning and making people understand the difference between hemp and marijuana.
Okay. In 2019, you opened up High St CBD, correct?
Yes.
How have things been going? How was the pandemic? I mean, give me like a rundown of like the last 3 years of your business.
Yeah, so we opened our doors on March 3rd, 2020, and I wanted
right
to
before
before everything, and I wanted to
yeah.
be in the Short North because when I moved here from San Diego, the Short North really resonated with me and reminded me of some areas in San Diego, like North Park and Hillcrest, and I also wanted to be close to the convention center with the Arnold, but I just like the vibrant, eclectic community that the Short North has. So, but when we opened, we never closed our doors.
Okay.
You know, if the city came to me and wanted to close our doors, I would have. I wasn't going to fight that, of course, but this is to some people, this is their medicine.
Sure,
you know?
sure. Is that kind of a good way? I mean, there's some things that you can't get away from traditional medicine on, but there are some things that I think this can replace in terms of your overall health and wellness. So give me some examples of people that have come in here, whether it be athletes, whether it be people in pain, things like that you guys can help with.
Certainly, and that's a good point about prescription medicines. We're not trying to certainly replace that. We're not doctors. We won't make any claims. We find there's a lot of customers that come in that use this in parallel with what they're trying to, or maybe they're trying to reduce.
Sure.
So we get the demographic of customer that we get is the college athlete, the college student. It's law enforcement. I mean, it's everyone. Nurses, stress and anxiety, or better sleep.
Yeah, that's what I use it for. Better sleep, honestly.
Right. So,
I take CBD probably every other night to help me sleep, and it works. It does wonders for me. Everybody's different. I'm not trying to make claims there. So
definitely.
You've been here. Do you have your own brand of High St?
We do. We have our own brand of High St CBD products.
Okay.
We have a full spectrum strawberry lemonade oil. And what full spectrum means is that's whole plant. Okay. It can contain up to 0.3% THC. Not enough to give you a high, but it can rarely show up on a drug test. So we're very careful when people come in and they're like, I get drug tested for work. We shift away from a full spectrum product and we'll focus on either a broad spectrum where there's no THC or an isolate where it maybe is just CBD, but we also get into minor cannabinoids.
Okay.
Like the CBGs and CBNs, which means there's just less of it in the plant.
Okay, nice. And it looks like you have some brands on the shelves that you might have done yourself. Is that right? Like the ciders, the drinks, those are big right now.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the drinks that are in town that you
Yeah,
guys are
Happy Soul Cider was a project that we did with Mad Moon Cider.
Okay.
They have a hard cider company, and we partnered up with them to come out with an organic apple juice drink. There's a lot of seltzers on the market.
Yeah.
So Happy Soul is an organic apple juice with no added sugars, just the fructose from the apple, and 22 milligrams of broad spectrum.
Sure. And then I see the Wonder brand. That's local to here too, right?
Yes. Tanisha and her group have a wonderful product as well. In fact, they carry our product in their store that they just opened up.
A little reciprocation.
Yeah, and so we've carried their drink since day one.
Very cool.
So.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. They're good. So, how did you come to Columbus? So 2007, you said you moved here from San Diego?
2007, yeah. So I came out here by way of a relationship.
Oh, okay. You did one of those.
I did.
So it worked out. I hope.
Yeah. So we have the modern family. My stepkids were 12 and 8 at the time, and so my wife wasn't moving out west. So I came out here, and then along came my boys that are 14 and soon to be 13.
Nice.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for fun around here?
Well, I've been. That's a good question because I couldn't. I had to stop. Well, not stop. I was when I moved out here.
Yeah.
I was surfing out in San Diego.
Can't really surf in Ohio. No.
Can't really surf in Ohio, and hopefully they'll build a fake wave like Kelly Slater's someday. But I found that I had to look and see what would replace my adrenaline type activities, and so. Wow, I live right by mountain biking out at Alum Creek, and then I discovered that there is skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah.
So I'm going on 11 seasons now, teaching at Mad River Mountain, which is Vail owned now. But we really, through the years we've enjoyed snow trails.
Yeah.
And we travel a lot.
So that's replaced it for your surfing fix a little bit.
Yeah, we'll move for the winter, but with the retail store, I have to stay back, and
Sure.
They'll go.
And then you guys have a second location. I was looking up and where's that at?
We do. We opened a second location, Nolan, up at Tanger Outlets in Sunbury.
Okay.
So we are opened that last August, and we're located near Old Navy.
Okay, very cool. And what do you guys, in terms of Columbus, where do you guys see like the growth coming from the city? Like where the collaborations that you guys have done in the past that I've seen before. Give me some things on how you kind of make Columbus different, how you make Columbus cool, and what you plan on doing in the future, kind of.
I mean, there's obviously a ton of growth, with Intel moving into Columbus, that's going to transform not just that area in Licking County, but it's going to transform the city, as being, I would say, the Silicon Valley of the East, if you will. So we see tremendous growth. One of the reasons we opened up at Tanger Outlets is because Delaware County, I believe, is one of the fastest growing communities in the U.S. And so we just see that area growing. We're not sure about our growth for additional stores.
Sure. But online sales, things like
online sales, that's thanks for bringing that up. We our site today is very informational. So we are working on a site that's going to hopefully bring more customers, Well, now I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole.
Go for it. Yeah.
So it'll be more sales funnely, but yes, auto shipping, subscription model. We're looking to bring that in the near future for High St CBD.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we do locally too is that we do provide free local delivery.
Okay.
So
that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, myself and my managers will get in our car, and there's certain areas that we won't drive to, but we do ship as well.
Yeah. I see some marketing stuff on the walls. You guys use a local agency for that?
So good question. We teamed up with a local visual merchandising company called Zen Genius.
Okay.
So this is a cool story because when I was looking for locations and ideas for the company, my business partner out in San Diego knew a guy named Matt Seibert that runs a successful Facebook group.
Okay.
And so through that, Matt had said, hey, you got to hit up this gal in Scottsdale. She's designed some wonderful stores. Cliff notes on this is I found Zen Genius through her blog because they teamed up with her.
Okay.
She got too busy, and I'm like, well, let's look up Zen Genius.
Use them, right.
They are literally a stone's throw over by Middle West Spirits.
Nice.
Back in the day, they came over, walked over, the owners, Joe, and so we hired them to build this store.
Yeah. And what about the art on the wall too? Did that come from somebody
So
local?
the art, yeah, and let me back up real quick on that. On the cannabis wheel, which we'll look at, that was actually through Leafly.
Okay.
So I've got to give them credit, and we use that for educational purposes, like you mentioned, along with our terpene chart that's in the back, as well. But the art that we have is a relationship through snowboarding. We met a wonderful human named Pat Milbury that runs a group called Sonar Creative, and he's probably done about 80 murals in the Columbus, Denver area. I'm sorry, in the Denver, Colorado area. And so I flew him in, and he came with another artist, and they painted these wonderful murals with Keep Growing on one of them in the city of downtown, with the bridges and the with a kind of a sunset in the background.
Downtown, and the Olentangy as well. So let's have some fun. What's your favorite place to eat in Columbus? Where have you been? Give me two places.
Okay.
I want people to know who you are.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Through snowboarding once again, I met the wonderful people, Promote and Finn, that own Momogar.
Okay.
So we actually helped them film their segment for Diners, Drive-Ins, and the Guy Fieri show.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
We're in that segment, but love me some Momogar. We used to eat at the original Saraga. But I frequent the one at the Short and the North Market. Another place, gosh. Having my business right here, I'm a fan of North Star. I love their salads. I love the free pimiento cheese dip at the bar after 4 p.m.
I've had that a few times.
So those are a couple of my favorites. And then, of course, Nita's being right next door.
I know. All these.
I'm pretty spoiled.
We are spoiled living right down here.
And then Megan with her ampersand. It's just
she's great.
It's
great.
a plethora.
I'd like to get her on here, so if she sees this, let's talk.
For sure.
Anyway, so what do you for fun, right? Where do you take the kids? Obviously, you do snowboarding. They play sports. Do you guys go like concerts downtown? Do you guys go play games, or what do you guys do?
So I used to play professional soccer a long time ago.
Where at?
I retired with the Seattle Sounders back in 97, 98.
Oh shit! Wow.
I'm a big Crew fan. I'm bummed that they missed the playoffs again. I have 5 season tickets in the Nordeck.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And my kids play for Ohio Premier here in town.
Really?
And
very cool.
We'll get together. It's kind of a tradition where we will walk from my store. And we'll walk to the stadium. And it's wonderful. So when I saw that was being built down there, I was really stoked. And they get together with other families and kids down there.
Stadium.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Tough loss though to get out of the playoffs.
Tough loss.
Tough loss. No, man. Anything else that we should know about you, your store? What can we expect when they come into High St CBD?
If
I'm clueless, what can you?
No, we've created an experience with the way that our store is designed. People aren't coming into a smoke shop. Not that there's anything wrong with a smoke shop, but we wanted to create a relaxing atmosphere and vibe in here, where it isn't intimidating. And whether you are, a college student, because we do sell CBD 18 and over, or I don't call them senior citizens, I call them wise people. Whether you're, anyone, we want people to feel welcome. So we want people, we treat people, very
like family.
Really
That's the first thing that drew me in here when I stepped in here. It was, I think, right when you first guys might have started opening. I came in with Nico, and you guys talked to us like family, and it was really cool. And I know you know him, so
great.
You guys have pet products and everything too,
we do. In fact, you're allowed to bring in your furry family member as long as they're friendly. So that's one of the popular items because the dogs and cats and other animals, they have endocannabinoid systems.
Just like we do.
Just like we do. And so they'll oftentimes bring their pets in. We have a water bowl that we'll keep outside. And I'll continually keep that fresh. And we're big on pets.
I'll include all your details, but tell people how to get a hold of you, where you're located, what's your social medias and things like that, so you can kind of tell them.
So we are on Instagram at High St CBD. At High St CBD. We are on Facebook, High Street CBD, and we're on Twitter, High Street CBD.
You were lucky to get the same name across all
Yes.
three. I had that problem, and I couldn't get up there.
No, for sure. And the funny thing about our name is when I met with Matt out in San Diego,
yeah,
and I was trying to come up with a name, and I was thinking Thrive and different things, and he's like, well, where are you located? And I said, we're on High Street. He's like, why don't you call it High Street?
Yeah,
and so I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. High Street. I mean,
like
if
a
you
punch
say
in the
High Street
face.
in Columbus, people will know exactly where you're talking about.
For sure.
So it's the most recognizable street name, in Columbus. So
It really is. But if you're from the UK,
yeah,
the High Street is the place of retail. So it's kind of cool.
It is interesting. Very cool. And then the last thing, I guess, the big Delta 8 boom. Talk to people about that, because everybody seems kind of confused on what that kind of is.
Delta 8 is a molecule in the hemp plant. There's also Delta 9. On the marijuana side, the one that's often tested for is Delta 9.
Yeah.
So we are able to sell Delta 8 in our store. We only sell it in store. It is hemp derived. It does give you a psychotropic high. We're very responsible about the education.
Okay.
You have to be 21 and over with ID, and we do not sell it online.
Yeah. I noticed that.
But we will educate people what they can expect in terms of a psychotropic high.
Okay. So it's almost like it mimics the real thing.
You do get high, but it's not
cannabis. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I feel like it's not as intense as marijuana.
Okay.
Minus the paranoia or anxiousness, like
that
you can get the feelings, but yeah.
Very cool. I don't think we have anything else. I think that's it. I just want to cover some things in relation to Columbus and kind of what your store is about. That's really it, man. Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, I mean, we look forward to hopefully meeting some new faces, and we always look forward to seeing the familiar ones. We have a free loyalty program, and we often do a lot of promos.
Yeah,
so.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Nolan.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Columbus Uncovered. Make sure you follow and like us on all the social media handles. Thank you again to Paul from High St CBD for doing this, and we'll see you next time.